Hey there, drone fans. Rick here again from Drone Valley. Well, today is another incredibly exciting day for me because I have a brand new piece of gear that I'd like to share with you that I think may be a technological marvel in so many ways. It's the brand new Action 2 camera from DJI. Now, before I get into the unboxing and the review of the product, let me share a little backstory with you. So I'm lucky that every now and then I'll get a call from DJI before they release a product, and they'll say to me, Rick, we've got a new piece of gear coming out. Would you like to see it before we actually release it? Of course I would. So please include me in that NDA. So I got that phone call a couple of weeks back, and when they described this product to me, I just couldn't wrap my head around it because what they were talking about was technology that was so advanced over current technology that I just had to get my hands on it. So unfortunately, a week or two passes between when they described it to me and when the product actually showed up this morning when the doorbell rang. So in that week and a half, I'm trying to wrap my head around how do you build this product that small, that versatile, that flexible, and still have a quality product? And lo and behold, it showed up this morning. Now, these kind of days for me are honestly like Christmas, my birthday, a long weekend, all rolled into one. And I wanted to wait and open it here on the channel because open it on my own on the table and being giddy about it and playing with it is fun, but sharing that with you is important as well. Now, I promise you, I've got a lot of reviews coming on this product over the next week or two. I'm going to dive deep into all the details about the accessories, how the menus work. I'm going to take it outside and get a lot of footage with it and explain exactly what separates this camera from other cameras on the market. And unlike a lot of channels that are out there that just like to do a basic unboxing and overview, I really like to dive into the technical details behind the technology so you can make a good decision as to whether this is something you need or how it compares to other products on the market. So anyway, I got the product this morning. It showed up, and again, it's completely sealed. I haven't opened it yet, but now I have a picture of it, so I have a good idea in my head of what the product looks like, but I really haven't held it yet. And there's a lot of stuff in this box, so I can't wait to rip it open. So what I'm going to do in this clip is an unboxing of the product first, and then I'll take a closer look at it and explain the connections, the buttons, the indicators, all the things you need to understand and how to use the product. I'll give you the specifications as well, because one of the things that's cool about this product, as I read through the product brief, is that DJI didn't just come out. First of all, look at this thing. They didn't just come out with a new product that was different than everybody else. That would have been cool enough. But normally when a new product hits the market like this, that radical a design hits the market, there's usually some things missing. It can't quite do great video. The stabilization isn't that cool. It can't connect to external devices because it's their first pass at a product. It's a first generation curse, I like to call it, where when you build something new, it takes a while for you to make it better, right? Gen 2, Gen 3 gets better. With this one, it's a brand new engineering design, but it's also got all the features you care about, so there's no compromises in this. You've got smaller size, incredible durability, a ton of accessories that clip onto it. It records amazing footage and take great pictures, and it's got just everything you need. Stabilization is through the roof on this thing. So again, I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm reading a piece of paper that's got the specs on it, but I trust DJI because I've flown a lot of their drones, I've used all their action cameras to date, a lot of their other gear, and they just deliver. They are one of those companies that are constantly pushing the boundaries of what I call normal, where a lot of other companies do sort of evolutionary products where they're building a product, building it a little better. And there are a lot of camera companies on the market, I'm not going to mention them by name, that kind of take their product and tweak it a little bit for the next generation. And you got to buy that one and tweak it again. What DJI does is they sit down at the bench. Their engineers are brilliant. They sit down at the bench and say, what can we do to change the market? If we're going to use an action camera, what would we like to see in an action camera? Well, number one, smaller's better because it makes it more versatile. I can take it with me anywhere. Number two, I've got to have great footage. So how can we crank up the resolution, put a bigger sensor in the product, and get better footage? And third, how do we make it versatile? How can we use it in a bunch of different ways that you can't use an action camera today? And lo and behold, poof, out of the design labs comes the Action 2. So enough talking about it. I'm going to unbox it. I'll give you the specifications, I'll take a closer look, and then I'll come back at the end after I played with it for an afternoon to give you some of my first impressions. But again, please stay tuned after this clip because I've got a lot more clips I'm going to be posting, walking through a lot of other cool things about the product. All right, so let me open it up here. Let's see. I've got to slide this side here. I didn't get a razor blade. Let me do it with a fingernail. All right, there we go. All right, so the box is open. First off, it's a small box, and you're seeing two things on the front of it. That's the camera, and that's the screen module. And again, I'm going to call it a composable camera, and that's a word you're going to hear a lot when I talk about it on the channel. What composable means is you've got a basic unit, and you can sort of morph it into other things by snapping things onto it. And in this case, everything is hung on to the original camera module through magnetics and a set of magnetic clasps. So I'm going to have to test all that, but I think that's a really clever way of attaching things where they're not using some external frame to sort of hold it together. All right, enough talking. I got the box open, so let me open it up. Let me just take a breath because I talk really fast when I get excited about technology, and I know I'm going a mile a minute, so let me gather my thoughts. All right, here we go. All right, first thing I see is a package which is totally empty. There's nothing in there. So I imagine when you get yours, there'll be all kinds of manuals and warnings and things like that, and probably warranty information in there. But again, it's a pre-release unit, so I was lucky they shipped it to me early. I don't have any details. All right, I did get a really nice DJI sticker, so that's kind of cool. There's the product. All right, first off, there's 2 units in there. There's the camera, and then there's the front screen module. And again, you can use these independently. So let me get the camera out first. Oh man, this is beautiful. This is unbelievable. So it's 55 grams. That's not very heavy. And if you need a comparison, that's about the same size and weight, or should say weight, as an average egg. So if you're holding an egg in your hand, that's about what it weighs. So you can already imagine, you know, having a magnetic mount where you can clip this on you and walk around and not really have to think about it is fantastic. It's made out of aluminum alloy. The build quality in this is phenomenal. It's got a nice lens on the front. They increased the size of the lens, so it's a 1/1.7 inch lens. Sensor. Now the original version, the original Osmo Action, actually had a 1/2.3 inch sensor, so it's got a bigger sensor inside. And as you know, that's really important for capturing greater detail. It's also great in low light and bright light, so it's a better sensor all the way around. And it can actually record video footage at 4K at 120 frames a second, 1080p, 240 frames a second. So this, to me, shouldn't be able to do all the stuff they're talking about. So anyway, wow, that's so cool. I can't wait to rip the labels off that and start playing. All right, the other thing that's included with the kit is the front screen module. So this is going to clip on the bottom of this. Let me try and do it without breaking something. Nope, it's not going on there. Oh, I got it backwards. Look at that. You can't put it on backwards. So I put it on this way. It snapped right on there. So look at that. That's not going anywhere. All right, so wow, it popped on. All right, so the minute I did that, it turned on. Let me get it off there because I don't want to start this up without actually turning it on. All right, there's some other stuff in the box. Let me open up and see what else we got in here. All right, so there's 2 other small packages here. I'll rip those open in a second. On the other end, there's a charging cable. This is a USB-C connection, so that's pretty cool. It's the latest, greatest standard for charging things. A bunch of other stuff right there. Anything else? Well, there's a desiccant package in there. I don't need that. All right, let me close this up and get it out of the way for now, and then I'm going to tear into these little packages. Now, these should be different mounts for the camera. So the kit itself comes with the camera, the front screen module, and a couple of other modules. Let's see what these are. I got to rip them open. So I'm going to tear this. I probably should just be gentle with it, but I'm going to rip it open and take a look. All right, so let me pull all these out of the bags first, and then I'll talk more about how these attach. So what I've got here looks like a GoPro mount. So you can mount that on any standard GoPro mount you've got today. It's got the standard 2-finger design that mounts up with the GoPro. Which is nice. Let's see what I've got here. So I've got a lanyard. Oh, that's cool. Magnetic lanyard for attaching it, I guess, to you. You can snap it on there. Okay, so I'm going to play with all of these in a little bit. What do we got in this one? Let's see. I'm being really rough with these, but I want to get them open. You can tell I didn't open this early. I was trying to wait. All right, so that's a 1/4" 20 on the bottom. So a standard tripod mount there, which is really nice. It's got a nice feel to it. All aluminum. Again, all of these accessories are high quality. There's nothing plastic about them. So let's see what the last thing is. All right, that's a 1/4" mount, and it's got some kind of sticky material, I guess, that will attach it to something that way. So I'll have to play around with that one. But what they give you in the kit is everything I've got in front of me. So I've got the camera module, I've got the screen, display screen, I've got a standard 1/4" 20 mount, which again, I'm sure adheres to something with glue on the bottom of that. I've got a standard tripod mount, which is a 1/4" 20 here, so I can put that on any kind of, selfie stick or any kind of tripod and use that to hold the unit, which is kind of cool. Let me actually snap that on there. Look at that. That's pretty cool. And then I've got this one, which is a GoPro mount. So if I've got a standard GoPro mount that I'm using today, and you've got the 3-finger mount, this is all aluminum, it's high quality, that snaps on the bottom, you can use your GoPro mounts. And then finally I've got a lanyard here that I can put around my neck, and that's the one I'll probably use most often, that or maybe a head mount, or I should say a headband mount, or a hat mount, to put it on my hat. Now, a couple of cool things this does, because they've really done some engineering around it. Their last generation product had Rocksteady built into it, which is their electronic image stabilization. Oh, I forgot the cable. So there's a USB-A to a USB-C cable, nice short cable for charging all the accessories. I'm sure the camera module and the camera itself need to be charged probably together, and you can charge both of them. Back to the Rocksteady. So their electronic image stabilization that they used in the original Osmo Action, which I have right here, was using a product called Rocksteady, which is a technology that electronically stabilizes the image when you're moving around. Because one of the problems with action cameras is that, unlike a gimbal camera where it's got a gimbal that's going to counteract your movements, an action camera needs some kind of electronic capability of looking at a picture and trying to keep it stable. And the way most companies do that is they'll overshoot the picture and then crop it in and then move that smaller picture around to compensate for the movement of the camera. So the Rocksteady was phenomenal on the original Osmo Action. They're now Rocksteady 2 on this one. But another feature they built in, which I think is incredibly important, is Horizon Steady, which is a feature that will actually keep track of the horizon no matter how that camera is positioned and keep that rock solid. Now, that's one of the things I'm going to test like crazy on this, because how good can that be? Can I flip it 90 degrees? Can I flip it 180 degrees? Does it keep that image completely stable without doing a lot of cropping and a lot of jitter in there? So that's important on the unit. In addition to that, again, what a beautiful setup. This is exactly what you're taking with you in the field to do all of your video footage. I can't wait to get this thing out in the field and start shooting with it. All right, that's it for the unboxing. Now stay tuned. Next one I'm going to do is take a closer look at all these accessories and explain how they work and how they go together and all the buttons and knobs and connectors. And then I'll give you just the basic specifications, because there's a lot going on with this camera. So I'll take a few minutes and give you all the basic specs you need. And then I'll come back at the end and give you a little bit of my conclusions on first impression, because I've got the Osmo Action, the GoPro here on 9 right next to it. When I'm looking at this tech compared to this tech, even though I love this tech and I use it all the time, I now have a camera that is so tiny that it's mind-blowing that what I've got here can fit in there, which means it's a tiny little package that I can take with me everywhere. And I can't get over the engineering prowess of DJI to build it in there. So anyway, stay tuned. We'll take a closer look. Then I'll give you the specifications and come back and give you some more thoughts. Thanks again. The new DJI Action 2 sports a ruggedized all-aluminum alloy case to easily handle your next adventure. Its small 39 by 39 by 21 millimeter size makes it the perfect travel companion, weighing only 55 grams. The camera module is totally waterproof to a depth of 10 meters on its own and up to 60 meters when inside the optional waterproof case. The camera module can record more than an hour on a single charge and offers 32 gigabytes of internal memory to store your videos and pictures. For external connections, the DJI Action 2 includes both Bluetooth 5.0 and Wi-Fi options. This action camera features a professional 1/1.7-inch CMOS sensor that can deliver incredible 4K footage at 120 frames per second, as well as crisp images in almost any lighting situation. A large 155-degree field of view helps you capture nice wide landscape shots without distortion. The Action 2 also allows you to zoom up to 4 times while recording, so you'll never miss a detail. All of your menu choices can be easily made on the 1.8-inch OLED touchscreen for easy adjustment. The camera also includes advanced stabilization technologies, including DJI's proprietary Rocksteady 2.0 to ensure your videos are smooth and stable no matter where you're recording. A new Horizon Steady feature is also incorporated into the Action 2 to keep the horizon level in your media no matter what position the camera is in. Both of these advanced algorithms help to make the Action 2 the most stable action camera available today. The Action 2 is an advanced composable camera platform that can be used with a wide variety of optional accessories to further expand its recording capabilities. It all starts with the advanced camera module that is small enough and light enough to take with you anywhere. If you need more recording space or a longer recording time, you can simply snap on the front touchscreen module, which includes an additional battery and a micro SD card slot for additional storage. The magnetic lanyard slips around your neck to let you record hands-free. You can clip on the magnetic ball joint adapter mount to position the Action 2 on a tripod for more stable shots when needed. And you can easily use all of your older mounts with the magnetic adapter mount and its 3-finger design. This collection of advanced features and clever accessories help to make the DJI Action 2 the ultimate versatile action camera for all of life's adventures. Inside the kit, you'll find the DJI Action 2 camera module, which is really the heart of the entire system. You can use this on its own and capture some amazing video footage and some great pictures, or you can combine it with any of these accessories as needed. Also included is a touchscreen viewfinder, which magnetically attaches to the bottom of the camera to show you exactly what you're recording and help you frame your shots. You'll also find 3 adapters that you can use to securely mount the camera in different situations. There's a GoPro adapter, a tripod adapter, and then a universal adapter here. I'll explain how all three of those work in a minute. Also included is a lanyard kit, which again magnetically attaches to the bottom of the camera, and you can drape it around your neck for those hand-free shots. Also included is a universal charging cable. The one end is a USB-A, the other end is a USB-C. You can plug this into any USB charger and use this to charge the camera module and the viewfinder. So let's take a look at the mounts. So the first adapter is set up for a GoPro mount. You can use it with any GoPro mount you own today. It's got the standard 2-finger setup on the bottom. It's all aluminum, so it's really heavy duty. I think it's nice to include it that because a lot of us have older GoPro mounts that we're using or other action camera mounts. So being able to use this with the mounts we already own can save us a little bit of money. And the way this actually attaches is you get it close to the bottom of the unit and those magnets take over. Hear how fast that clicked in there? Now the magnet would probably be enough to hold it on there, but they also include these two little latches on either side, these safety latches, which actually line up with those grooves on the camera to hold it even tighter. So once it's on there, you're in good shape. It's not going anywhere. But to remove it, you'll gently squeeze on these two ears and then pull it off just like that. All right, the next mount is a universal tripod mount. So it's got a 1/4 inch 20 on the bottom, and it's got a friction fit ball head on the top. So you can actually put this in position to get the exact shot you need, and it attaches exactly the same way. So just bring it close to the camera, and it immediately snaps in there. And I love the way it clicks in, but that magnet is really strong. And again, the ears have engaged up here. So to pull that one off, you'll just pop it off like that, and you're good to go. Now the third mount is really interesting, and I was a little puzzled by this when I first looked at it. Essentially, it looks like a little stand that you'd put on a table, use the ball joint adapter, put it on there, and have the camera sit on a table. But when I looked at it closer, there's a cover on the bottom that pops off, and right here on the surface, you've got this sticky material that allows you to adhere this to anything. You can stick it to any flat surface and it's going to stay put. And then when you're done with it, you can peel it off that surface pretty easily. And then you can actually wash that sticky material with warm water and it regains its stickiness. So you can use it again and again. When you're done with it, just put it back in the case and you'll be all set to go. And that works really well with the ball adapter. I've used that a couple of times on a wall, on the hood of my car, and a few other places. So I like that a lot. It's a very clever design. Now, the way the lanyard kit works is there are two parts to it. There's this piece which clips on the camera. So you see these dots right here. They'll line up with the dots on the camera. But if you get it close, it's going to grab hold and really stay on there. And then you'll slide the backing plate inside your shirt and attach the camera on the outside of your shirt. And once it's on there, it's not going anywhere. You can drape this around your neck. You can go out and record to your heart's content. Stabilization will help you keep the images stable. When you want to take it off there, you just peel it off like that. All right, so let's take a look at the camera module next, and then we'll take a look at the touchscreen here. So the camera module is a very sophisticated camera. It's got a 1/1.7-inch sensor behind it, so it'll capture some 4K footage at 120 frames a second and 1080p at 240 frames a second. There are a couple of microphones here. You've got one in the front, and then if you need additional microphones, they're actually in this touchscreen. This module operates more than an hour on its own. And it's got 32 gigs of internal storage. So again, this is a great little camera to use on its own or with the accessories. Now, if you need more recording time or more space to store your recordings, this touchscreen viewfinder actually has a battery inside of it. And when you want to charge the camera, you're going to connect this up to the camera. Again, it clicks right on just like that. And you'll find the USB-C connection on the side over there. So that's what you'll plug the cable into to a standard USB-C charger, and you can charge it. The other cool thing about it is there are additional microphones. So there's a microphone there, a microphone there, and a microphone there. So now you've got 4 microphones to capture a lot of really good audio. In addition to that, there's a bigger battery in there as well, so it extends the recording time of the unit. And you can use all the mounts with this as well. It's kind of a, again, it's a composable system where if I'm going to mount this on a GoPro mount, I just put that adapter on, and all 3 of these will mount on the same GoPro mount, and I can use any mount I want with it. So it is a really clever system, all things being equal. And you have the choice of either using this touchscreen in the back to control the camera, this touchscreen on the viewfinder, which will give you the image of what you're recording, or you can actually use the application and use that viewfinder in there to record what you need to record. And that's pretty much it for the accessories and the closer look.
I hope you found that closer look and those specifications helpful. Now here are a few things you can use to compare the brand new DJI Action 2 to other action cameras you may be considering. There are a lot of things you have to keep in mind when you're buying an action camera, and the first thing, and probably most important thing, is the size of the camera. And smaller is better in this case. Now, here are 2 cameras that are on the market today. This is the original Osmo Action, and this is the Hero 9 Black. And that's pretty typical for what the cameras look like in that action camera segment. And they work really well. I mean, they're small enough where you can mount them on almost anything. You can take them diving with you. You can bolt them to your skis if you're a skier. You can put them on your helmet if you're driving your motorcycle. And they work pretty well. But DJI looked at that and said,
they're still too big. They're still bigger than they need to be. So why don't we build a composable camera that gives you everything you need to record video with a bunch of attachments that allow you to do other things. So when I compare these two, this is a revolution right here. This is not the next generation Osmo Action. It's a brand new form factor. And I promise you, a lot of other camera companies are going to see this and start scrambling to build a product that looks like this. So it's a small camera, which means it's more versatile, it's more flexible. I can bolt it to more things. I'm almost forgetting I have it on at 55 grams, which means I'm going to use it a lot more. So that's kind of cool. It's a smaller camera. But smaller doesn't necessarily mean better if it didn't do a better job of recording video, because the whole point of taking a camera with you is you want to capture great footage and great pictures when you're out there doing your action stuff. So it would be okay with me, sort of, if it did pretty much the same video resolutions and frame rates as these guys, but it doesn't. It takes it to the next level. So this camera can record 4K at 120 frames per second, which is mind-blowing, and the sensor's bigger. Both of these cameras use a 1 over 2.3 inch sensor. Even the new Hero 10 Black uses a 1 over 2.3 inch sensor. This uses a 1 over 1.7 inch sensor, which means you have a bigger CMOS sensor to capture more detail, so the brights will be better, the low light will be better, everything about it's going to be a better, crisper image, so it beats those cameras on that as well. So now I've got a camera that's smaller and it records better video. Holy smokes, this is the one I want to own. In addition to that, the features that are in it really are what matter, because the challenge with most action cameras is it's hard to stabilize the footage. And let's think about this. You're not going to use them on a tripod that often because they're action cameras. The first word in that name is action. So you're going to have it out there skiing and doing all kinds of stuff, jumping off of cliffs, diving in deep water. So the stabilization is really important because there's going to be a lot of movement when you're doing all that stuff. And really the brains behind the stabilization is a core technology, like I'd mentioned, that'll crop a picture and then have intelligent software and algorithms to know how to move that picture to keep it stable. And that software is the major difference between most companies out there. And whenever a new action camera comes out, you'll hear about a camera company bragging about how their stabilization has been improved. Well, DJI's been in the business of drones forever, and they understand image stabilization from a gimbal perspective, but they've done a phenomenal job on the electronic image stabilization as well. So this one has their brand new Rocksteady 2 feature in it, which is going to give you rock solid, video from the camera. In addition to that, they've built in Horizon Steady, which I can't get past that feature. I can't wait to get outside and test it. But essentially what that's going to do is constantly look at the horizon in front of you and adjust the camera. So if you're on a motorcycle and you're hitting a dirt road and it's moving around a lot, it's going to adjust that horizon to keep it level for you. So I can't wait to test that. So it's got better video. It's smaller. It also has better image stabilization than the other two. And again, I'll test all this stuff. But on the surface, it looks like just a phenomenal value. And it's got a ton of features. The software is really advanced as well. You can use the Mimo app with it, and you're doing a lot of in-app editing, so you can quickly capture some footage, put it in the app, put it together in a clip, and post it on social media, all right from your phone. So they've really thought about everything you need to be good out there in the field. And it really applies to so many different segments. So if you're a photographer and you're looking for new ways to capture images and different perspectives that you can't get with a traditional action camera or a DSLR, home run. If you're an enthusiast, if you're an outdoor enthusiast and you're spending a lot of time in the wild and you want to go out there and capture your camping trips or your boating trips, or if you're, diving off cliffs, I'm not going to do that, but if you're diving off a cliff, this is the camera to go with because these are a little heavier and this one's easier to mount on things. In addition to that, they've built in all kinds of connection topologies. So they've got Wi-Fi, both 2.4 and 5.8 gigahertz. They've got Bluetooth 5.0, which is the latest standard for Bluetooth. So connecting to it's easy. Using the app is easy. It's smaller than everybody else on the planet. And for me, again, I'm going to test it like crazy. It is the ultimate versatile action camera on the market today because, again, leave it to DJI to break the mold. Their engineers sat down and said, we're not going to do an Action 2 that looks like this. We're starting from scratch. This is what they came up with. So I know I get accused of being a DJI fanboy, but when you look at this to this, it's like Martians landed in their laboratory and said, what the heck is this? We can build something better. Poof, this came out of that discussion. So I love it. I can't wait to test it more, and I hope you guys enjoyed this clip. Now again, stay tuned to the channel because I'll have a whole series on the new Action 2, going through the menus and the features and the software. I'll test it out in the field. I'll do stabilization tests, compare it to other cameras, so you get all the information you need to understand if this is the right action camera for you. And I really appreciate your viewership. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit that subscribe button down there because you don't want to miss any of this cool content. And I've got a lot of other cool stuff coming, wink wink, that you're definitely going to want to tune in for. So thanks again for watching. And until next time, happy flying.